Hello and welcome to the Luna Foundation's Miner's Guide to Selling Your Ore to me. I am Allard Tastris, and I'm here to show you how to make a contract to me to sell your ore to me. Because contracts can be tricky. I struggled with them in the beginning, but it's really just a simple little three-part process. In my hangar here, you can see I have 2 ores. I have some Veldspar and I have some Scordite. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to right-click on the ore that you want to sell to me, and click this option that says Create Contract. The first step comes up. Select contract type. You want it to be item exchange, and it has to be private, and it has to be my name, Allard Tastris. But I can't make a contract to myself, so I'll choose the next best thing. Jason Taylors. There. Now, if your hangar has a lot of items like mine usually does, which I'm not in my hangar for that reason, you're going to get a whole lot of stuff right here. And it's going to be really hard to pick out your ore. But that's okay, because what you right-clicked is already selected, so you can just skip this step entirely. This is the part that that confuses a lot of people, because you see item type and you think, oh, that's where I put my item. But you already selected your item in the second step. So you don't actually fiddle around with this. This is if you wanted to receive something from a contract. Now, what you do have to do here is you have to determine the price of the contract. And you're going to put that here. I will receive this much money. To determine that, you need to go to the corporation page. All of the prices are here for any ore that you will find in HiSec here in Minmatar space. Now, by default, your hangar and your cargo hold and everything have these icons, and I like that for the most part. I keep them like that. But they give you a rounded estimate of how much ore you have, and you can figure out how much you actually have by hovering over it. But that's a pain when you're trying to use the in-game calculator, which I am going to use as well. So what you want to do is there's this little icon, you hover over it, and it says details. And you still get these icons for the ore, which I like, but you also get the exact quantity. Now the next thing you got to do is you have to go to accessories and open up the calculator. And you just have to plug in the basic arithmetic. So take the amount of Veldspar, 37,842, and multiply it by its price, 7 ISK per unit. And this is how much you will put in for the contract, 264,894. You can exit that then, just leave the calculator and plug in the value here. Or even better, you can copy this by right-clicking on it, and then you can right-click here and you can paste it. And you have finished your contract. The last page for the contract is just the confirmation page. It's just gonna say, it just reviews the details and it goes over. Oh, one more thing. Also here, in the select options tab with the price and the items, set this to 1 week. I would really prefer for you to do that. Set it to 1 week. Because I'm not necessarily on every single day, so I might miss contracts that are only set for 1 day. So, after you got the contract all set up, you just hit finish. And this will pop up again unless you hit this. I always leave it on just in case. And this pops up. You'll be charged a little bit of a broker fee. It's not really much of anything. If you want to review your contract, you go to My Contracts. These options are standard. Just hit the Get Contracts button. Your contract will pop up. You can double click on it to view it, and to delete it, there's a delete button. It's as simple as that. Now, you'll notice I have 2 ores in my hangar. So what if I mine both of them and I want to sell them at the same time? Well, you can do that. You can click one, and then you can click the other one with the control button held down. Then you can right click and hit create contract. And you'll be creating a contract for both of them now. And you'll want the same settings. You'll want item exchange. You want to set the contract to me, or Geisen for me in this period. This is where you're going to be fiddling around a little bit, probably. If you're not good at juggling numbers, then you might be hurting a little bit. To determine your price, I'm going to use the in-game notepad just so you can see what I'm doing, but I would normally do this on a piece of paper. We already have the price of the Veldspar, but just for kicks, I'll do it again. You can hit backspace to clear this for the calculator. Little known quickie. Plug in one value of the ore and multiply it by its price, 7 is. Copy that and paste it in here. Now do that again for the other ore, the scoredite, 27,912, and multiply that by its price. Scoredite is 11 is per unit. Take that value, copy it, hit enter so you can tell apart, and paste it again. Well, you wouldn't even need to do that with 2 ores, but if you're working with a whole bunch of ores, which I usually do, you're going to want to do that. So then you take the first value, you highlight it by double-clicking it, copy selected. In the calculator, you hit backspace just for good measure, paste it in, and add it. Stupid calculator. The calculator's... It's a standard calculator, so it'll get screwy sometimes. Copy selected again, paste it in, hit the add. Do that with the next one. Copy selected, hit paste, or okay, that won't work. So you can instead you'll just have to plug in the numbers by hand. 264,894 plus 307,032. And that is how much the contract will be worth. And you can do that with any amount of ores. You're just going to have to use the notepad or a piece of paper to keep track of your numbers. There are memories on this calculator, but they get screwy and they're hard to bring back up. So trust me when I say just don't use them. Copy and paste. And that will be your contract. For 2 types of ore, you can do that with any amount of types of ore you want. I'm just going to cancel it because I'm not going to go with deleting the next contract. One more thing about the multiple selections. If you click on one thing and you hold control and you click on another thing, it will select that one item. It'll select the 2 items. Now let's say I had a third item here. I don't know, it's a gun. It's a rail gun or a projectile turret or whatever. If I were holding shift and I clicked the Veldspar, it would select all 3 of them. When you hold shift and you select items, it'll select all of the items in between as well. Just a little note on selecting multiple items. And knowing the difference between using those 2 buttons is really useful for manipulating your hangar and figuring out how to move your items. And that's about it. I hope this helps you in figuring out how to use contracts.